Welcome to the Successful Life Podcast. I am your host, Corey Berrier, and today, folks, I want to tell you about a story that I read. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, actually. I'm going to give you a few tips on what every plumbing company should be doing. Alright, so I read this story, I read it in a post. So it said, John had been running his plumbing company for the past 3 years, but despite his best efforts, he couldn't seem to grow his business beyond a revenue of $2 million. He was feeling frustrated and stuck, not knowing how to take his business to the next level. Sarah worked with John to develop a customized plan for business growth. They focus on improving the company's marketing efforts, streamlining business processes, and implementing better financial strategies. Sarah also provided valuable industry insights and guidance on how to take advantage of opportunities and avoid common pitfalls. One of the key pieces of advice Sarah gave John was to invest in his top technician, Steve. Steve had been with the company for several years and had consistently proven to be a valuable asset. Sarah suggested that John consider selling the company to Steve and offering him a partnership. After some contemplation, John decided to take Sarah's advice and sold the company to Steve. Steve, now the owner and manager, implemented all the strategies that Sarah had recommended. Within just a few years, the company had experienced tremendous growth. They were building their 23rd location and it had increased their revenue over $10 million. John was grateful for Sarah for the guidance and support she had provided through her plumbing coaching services, and he knew he couldn't have achieved this level of success without her help. So I just share that story with you because it just paints a really good picture of, what I do for a living, right? It paints a good picture of, all the different things that business coaches work with, right? It's not just, it's interesting because I think people, business coaches should not be doing everything. Let's just be completely transparent about that. If you've got a business coach that can do every single thing in your business, now, look, I should back up. TJ Hartnett, that dude can do anything you want in your business, right? Flywheel Coaching Services. He's a good friend of mine and a absolute, genuine human being and smart as hell. So that dude, however, can do all those things, right? This dude knows how to do everything. I, on the other hand, I don't know how to do all of those things. I understand the overview of it, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to come in and, tell you how to streamline all your business processes because that's not what I do, right? I help you with streamlining your sales processes and getting your CSRs actually booking calls and getting customers excited and making them happy for your technician to come out there. And then we help them sell more memberships. We help them sell whatever it is you're trying to sell over the phone, right? And I just use memberships as an example. And I know there's mixed feelings on memberships. I have mixed feelings on memberships. However, that is a way that your CSRs can generate revenue. So, and that's certainly not the only way, I promise you. But I point that out, that story, I just thought it was a really cool story. Because that story is not uncommon, right? You get somebody that, if you are that frustrated business owner, right, and you are stuck at $2 million, and it feels like there's nothing else you can do. In your brain, you've thought of everything that you can do. It is absolutely okay to reach out to someone like me, like TJ, and ask for some advice, right? You could just, there is zero problem. There's nobody's going to look down on you for doing that. You might kick yourself if you don't do that because look, this story I shared with you is not uncommon. Like I just said a few minutes ago, it's extremely common to get stuck at that 2 million mark. It's extremely common to get stuck at a 3 million mark, 5 million mark. And when you get to those spots, You've got to, you want to bring in extra help. It's just really, it's the smart move. And look, it's like everybody taps out at whatever they tap out, right? Some people can do a million different things. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, our brain capacity is our brain capacity. Our experience is our experience. And you can't kick yourself for not knowing what you don't know, right? I've done that a million times. But it's really silly to kick yourself in the ass for something that you don't know. Now, if you have the opportunity to find out what those things are, you'll take that opportunity, well, now that is on you, for sure. But I don't think that is you, right? You're an action taker. You're kind of the guy, I'm sure, that wants to grow. That's why you're listening to this show. And look, it is, again, it's okay. Like, it's absolutely okay. But what's really cool is when you figure out all these things that you could have been doing to grow your business, and when we implement these little tweaks and twists and whatever into your processes, and you see that, you see your numbers starting to grow, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling for me. But for you, the owner, it's tremendous. Right? It really is. So here are three things, I'm just going to add a little bit more value here. Here are three things every plumbing company should do. Offer excellent customer service. Providing exceptional customer service is key to keeping your clients happy and attracting new ones. I'm reading this stuff, by the way. Make sure your team is trained to be friendly, helpful, and responsive to the customer's needs. Utilize online marketing. And here are three things every plumbing company should do. Offer excellent customer service, utilize online marketing, and focus on building relationships, right? So offer excellent customer service. Be kind. Don't rush. Don't rush your customer. Those are small things, right? Put your booties on before you go in the house. And it's really, really small things that really make a big difference at the end of that sale. Utilize online marketing. I know people, look, Leads Nearby, you need to go check them out, right? I just did that podcast with Mark Sherwin. We have a partnership, Leads Nearby, I'll just tell you that. I work with their team. Like, I work with their team and I work with their customers. So they've got about 250 customers. And I go through and I do an evaluation on how their calls are doing, how their CSRs are working. And it's a great process, right? I can figure out the holes in your calls super quick, right? I mean, I've done this quite a few times. So my point here is, like, Leads Nearby offers some really unique stuff. And I really would encourage you to go check them out. And, they're local to me and they're great guys. Anyway, if you want to check them out even more, go to Mark Sherwin's podcast. I think it was one before last. And check that out, because he's just a good guy, man. And he knows his stuff. He's been around the block, I don't know, 13, 15 years, I think. I can't remember how long it was, but him and Bob Mista, I really like those guys. They're great, and I've really enjoyed working with them. I'll be honest with you. And I think for sure, even if you're just getting started in your business, these guys will work with you, right? And they're gonna shoot you straight. I'm not saying that other people don't shoot you straight, but these guys I know will shoot you straight because I'm working with them, right? I wouldn't tell you to go check out Leads Nearby if I thought they were going to, look bad on me. Zero chance I'm doing that, right? I would never tell you guys ever to go check out somebody if I didn't know for a fact they're good people and that you're going to get a good result if you go check them out and work with them, period. But I'm sure you know that. I hope you would know that. Not saying I couldn't make a mistake, but I don't think I've made one in this realm yet. Focus on building relationships. Dude, this is so so important. And it's one of the least looked at out of all three of these things, right? When I say focus on building relationships, if your technician's out at the house and the customer says they don't want to move forward, it's a no, right? I mean, it depends on how you go about it, but if they say, no, I don't want the service, just leave. Like, save yourself and leave. If you leave, there's a chance that they may call you back at a later date, but there's a reason they're saying, no, we do not want the service. And it's really not smart for you to try to keep cramming the service down their throat. If it's a hard no, it's a hard no. That's it. Just take your lump and walk, right? That builds relationships, right? And be kind, right? Be super kind to the people that you're working with. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what your customers are going through. You have no earthly idea. And you've got to assume that maybe they're having a rough time in their life. You don't have to treat them like they're having a rough time in their life. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm suggesting is you got to have empathy for people. Because you just never know what's going on in someone's life. And sometimes we have to put on a mask for whatever reason. I know I'm going a little bit off topic here, but this is how I'm going to end the show with a little bit of, this is how I'm ending the show. But stick around because this is about to get real good, I have a feeling. So, sometimes you have to mask what's going on in your life. Sometimes you have to disguise some really dark things that are going on in your life. And for many different reasons, right? It's not necessarily a choice to put the mask on. Right? And what I mean by that is, when you're going through stuff at home, for example, let's just say that maybe you and your kid are having problems. Maybe y'all are, arguing about school or whatever it is, and things are just not going well. And maybe, maybe it's a teenager that is just acting out or going through some stuff, and you're trying to figure those things out, and it's not something that you can talk about, really, because it's the entities, the system, let's call it, right? Let's call it the government. They have a lot of power, right? They do have a lot of power, and we just, we had an incident recently, and we ran into, we got to see how the system works. We got to see how much we can depend on our government. How much we can how much we can depend on law enforcement. I figured out now how much we can depend on the child services. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm pretty disappointed. I'm going to leave it right there because it's the system. And I don't want to get caught up in the system like I almost did. Not even my fault because I posted something that I shouldn't. Probably have to edit that out. But yeah, so, I can't give you much detail here. I'll be honest. And this is like, this is the silencing, right? This is the silencing. And I can't even tell you how I can't even tell you how this happened. Because I don't want them knocking on my damn door again. They all but told me we still have the ability, because of some dumb shit I posted, somebody could call our agency on you because you posted that. And I'm like, am I in a twilight zone right now? Like, and look, probably none of this makes an ounce of sense to you. But here's what I'm going to tell you if you're a dad. If you're a dad, you gotta watch your kid, dude. If you're a dad, you got a daughter, you gotta be careful. And because kids say crazy things. Nobody said anything about me. Let's clear that up real quick. But kids say things that could absolutely, unequivocally, without a doubt, destroy your life. I've seen it just recently. Not me. But, and I can't get into that story. But like, it's wild, the things that we have had, the things that we've gone through in the last 30 days. And I was talking about that mask, like, I have to come on here, right? And I got to be Corey, right? I got to interview, when I'm interviewing people, I got to be Corey. I got to be the guy that you want to show up on this show. And I'm going to tell you, it's really hard sometimes to do that. But I have had a lot of practice with emotional intelligence. And look, I'm not the best at it, but I can tell you, I am able to separate my personal from my business. And I can't really explain how. I literally just block it off until I need to open it back up. And when I block it off, I'm laser focused. Right? I am laser focused. And this was a true test for me. I'm not going to lie to you. This one was a test. Man, like, God said, look, bro, I am going to test you at every single step of this process. And that is exactly what has happened. And guess what? I passed the test. Because I didn't freak out. Now, I did freak out some. But I kept my cool in the times that I needed to keep my cool. In the important times, I kept my cool. And I used my relationship with God to uncover these things. And you may think I'm a lunatic when I tell you that. But, I got away from God for a while. And now, I'm back. And I understand I don't have control over any of this stuff. I don't have control over anything outside of where my arms can reach right now. None of that. So like, I'm letting God handle this. I am not trying to do any of this. I am stepping out of this, in fact. But that's how it came to light, all this stuff. I prayed that God would show my wife the things that I've been seeing. And that may sound savage, that may sound like, but it worked. I'm living, breathing proof that it worked. And I'm not talking about worked in 6 months. I'm talking worked that day. The day I surrendered, the day I said, God, I cannot do this. I'm giving this to you, and I'm done with it. I'm stepping away. I'm taking my hands off of it, and I'm going to let you deal with it. In fact, I'm going to stop thinking about it. because it's your job now. You said come to you. Here you go. Here's a big one. That day, I got results. And I should tell you, every day that I've gone to an AA meeting and every day I've made that prayer, results. Well, Corey, why don't you do it every day? Sometimes I forget, right? Sometimes I forget. But I haven't been forgetting recently, I'll tell you that. So anyway, guys, hey, do me a favor. Share the show. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the story. And do me a favor, please. Yeah, share the show. Give us a review. Look, it helps me, personally, Corey, if you give us a review. Really appreciate you guys, and we'll see you on the other side.